If you're a makeup beginner and you're wondering what are the types of brushes, what brushes do I need, how do I use them, and when do I use them, then this video is for you. So if you want to know in detail what each makeup brush does, then watch the full video. In case you want to know what a good starter kit is for beginners, then you can skip to the end because that's where I'll be just summing up all my favorite go-to brushes and creating like a kit that you as a beginner need, and that's all you need. Let's start with the base. There are a few things you can use. That is, you can use your fingers, foundation applicators. So this is a beauty blender. The original beauty blender was made to absorb extra foundation, and so if you're someone who experiences cakey makeup a lot, it's probably because you're using a lot of product, and that's where this comes in. It soaks up any excess foundation and it gives your skin a very natural lens beautifully, and that's why it's called a beauty blender. But it's not suitable for runny, lightweight foundations because they usually are very liquidy, and because this product is meant to absorb product, this little thing will eat up all your foundation and you'll be spending a lot of money by the end of it. So this is good for, the thicker foundations. That's gonna give you a lot of coverage, but you still want a natural look. One major thing that people do wrong is they use it dry. Never do that because that's not what it's meant to do. You're supposed to wet it under running water, squeeze it a couple of times, and this will become bigger in size. You can do your entire makeup look with just a beauty blender, so that is a must have in my dictionary. I would recommend the YBP Makeup Perfector. It's not that expensive and it's the best quality I've come across. I've had it since the longest time. The next thing is this sort of a brush. Now this used to be a trend and I don't know if it is anymore. This also used to be a fast tool to blend your foundation. I'm not a big fan of it because it's very difficult to wash this because it's very tightly knit. That being said, it is really good in doing fast makeup. So it's like just 1, 2, 3, 4 and your whole foundation is blended. Now we have this very interesting product. I use this with only and only one foundation, which is the Huda Beauty foundation, and I have a lot of spots to cover, and this thing over here is all silicone. Basically like the beauty blender, this also blends it well, but it does not absorb any product. It's easy to clean because it doesn't absorb anything. The only downside is it takes a lot of time to blend with this. You have to be really patient till the foundation is kind of automatically drying down. Then you gotta go and blend the lines. Now let's come to this flat brush. So this guy over here is one of the most classic go-to foundation brushes that we all know. After the beauty blender came, I think a lot of people threw this out. So this is a very good applicator if you want to take your foundation out and just apply it on your face. But to blend, this is not the best thing because this does leave strokes. So it's good for applying moisturizer, primer, serum if you just want to spread it out. It's a good spreader, but it's not a good blender. This one over here is a kabuki brush. It's very, very dense. So the bristles are very tight knit and a lot of bristles, and that's what makes it a very good applicator. It doesn't absorb a lot of product and it is good for blending. So overall, this is quite a winner over here. This is more like a foundation blending brush. Thin bristle, they're not very dense, and so you can blend out your foundation without it absorbing a lot of product, but giving you the right amount of foundation and leaving no strokes. Now let's come to concealer. So for concealer, I have 3 brushes over here. You can always use your beauty blender or you can use your fingers. In my opinion, fingers work amazing for concealer because it's easy to blend, and you want to use your ring finger to do that because it's the least pressure. You want to go like that and just dab, 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 and I love it. So that's just my preference. But there are concealer brushes out there. So here we have a flat concealer brush, and this is one of the classic ones. It's amazing to apply because it doesn't absorb and it's got like a pointed-ish tip. It also makes it easier to really get in there and pat, pat, pat. Next we have something like this. So this has a flat head and it's more dense like a kabuki brush. It's rounded. This is also really good for stamping down the product and like blending it with tapping motions. So this has both of it. It has a flat end and it's a dual-ended brush. I feel like these look really fancy, but when you go to actually blend it, it doesn't leave the best result, in my opinion. The next thing can actually be used and confused as an eyeshadow brush. So this one over here is a fluffy brush. Some can even look like this. They both do the same thing. They are really good for blending because it's not very dense. Good with a light hand to just blend away the edges. Now moving on to face brushes. So here are some of the setting powder brushes. I have 3 different sizes over here and all of them are fluffy brushes. So you can again use your beauty blender, your damp beauty blender, to set your face with powder, because that also is a technique, especially if you have oily skin and it's like really hot outside. If you don't want a lot of powder on your skin, your dry skin, these are your options. So the first one is a really standard big brush, and it can be in any shape. It's basically just a big fluffy brush and it pretty much covers your entire face. Really good for quick application. Next one is again a very standard one. This is more dense. I personally don't like this one a lot because you don't need a very dense brush for setting your face with powder. It's gonna leave it very powdery, and this is more like you're gonna focus it in one place. So that's the comparison. My favorite is this one over here. So this is a nice flat-ish tapered brush with a lot of fluff to it. It's like a very mid brush. What I like about this is that it's got a pointed tip, so you can get in the corner. It's flat because that's what you want to do with your powder. You want to press it down, and it's also not too big, so you're not putting it everywhere. Now let's move on to contour brushes or bronzing brushes. Bronzing is when you want to give your face a nice little sun-kissed warmth. If your face is just looking flat, it adds a bit of color, a bit of warmth to it. So that's what bronzing does. But if you want to contour, it's basically used to create shadows on your face to make your features look hollow, and in turn making your other features look highlighted, and it's a way of sort of manipulating your face to look slimmer. So the first one is a flat fluffy brush. So it's not extremely dense, it's not extremely thin. So what this does is it's really good for bronzing because you are not concentrating it on one area, you're giving more of like a blended warmth. So this is what this does, and also it's not too big or too fluffy that it's going to go all over your face. So this is good for the bigger areas and for bronzing. Then we have this one over here, which is an angled brush. You can use any of the foundation or concealer brushes to blend out your cream contour if that's something that you're going for. But for powder, these are the ones, and this is very similar to the previous one that I showed you. The only difference is that it's angled and it's smaller, so it's going to give you more control on the kind of look of the contour, like thicker over here, thinner towards your mouth. Now coming to a very unusual brush which not a lot of people use for contouring or bronzing, but I personally really like, is this guy over here. It's a bigger tapered brush, and it's basically very fluffy. It's also got more control over where you place your bronzer, and because it's round, it's not very harsh, so it's easier to blend, and especially if you go in rounding motions, it gives you a really nice natural bronzing or natural contour look. So this is more what I would use for contouring, because you can really just use the tip of it and get exactly that shadow that you want with your contour. The same contour brushes and your powder brushes can be used for blush on as well. They are exactly the same. This, however, over here is more of a blush brush, and the reason for it is again the size. It's not too big, not too small, but honestly I really just pick whichever I'm feeling and go for it because they all do the same thing. Blush is not too concentrated, so it doesn't really make a difference, but yeah, make sure it's a fluffy brush and not something like this one, because this would make it a little patchy. Now coming to eyeshadow brushes. So there are a ton of them, honestly. The first one is a classic blending brush. So you want to at least have 2 or 3 in your kit, because most of the time when you're doing an eyeshadow look, you want to be using 2 blending brushes, one for blending the color and the other just to have in case you've used a lot of color and there's no way to kind of remove it. You want that clean blending brush to simply blur out the edges. So at least 2 in your kit is what I would recommend. This is what a blending brush looks like. It's tapered most of the time, but it can also look like this, which is more flat tapered. They both do the same thing, they both are for blending, but this rounded one over here is more for blending out larger areas or like a transition color where you don't mind it going all over your eyelid or at least above your crease. You're just like kind of going with the flow, quick with it. This one over here is more concentrated. Because it's flat, you can really get into that crease and concentrate the color exactly where you want it to go. A smaller version of that brush is this one over here, which is literally my favorite brush in my entire kit because it is so helpful. Because it has like a semi-roundedness to it, it can also really blend well, especially with colors like black where you don't want it to go all over. This is the difference between someone who has ruined their smoky eye and someone who hasn't. You also get many variations, like this one over here, it has like an angle to it. Another kind of interesting blending brush is this one over here, which is called a pencil brush by MAC 219, and this is a very tapered, not too fluffy blending brush. This is very good for any kind of intricate eye looks, especially when you want to use like a blue and then you want to have another color on top and another color on top in like a gradient. So this helps you place the color exactly where you want it to go and not just like a fluke anywhere. This is more precision, but it also does a really good job of blending. Now we have the eyeshadow applicators. Flat brushes like these, when you're applying anything on your lid, this is what is the go-to brush. Either it's a cream eyeshadow or it's a glitter or any kind of pigment. This is what is going to help it not fall out all over your face. And if you use this correctly, it's going to actually give you a lot more pigmentation than something like this would give. This is more for blurring out your eyeshadow, but this is what is going to make your eyeshadow look vibrant. You want to use this in tapping motions and never swiping motions because this is used to set down the product. Again, there are variations. This is a smaller one, this is a bigger one. Same thing with this one over here. It's more flat and kind of like a semi-circle. When you want to set your concealer down in a cut crease format, because it's round, so it can really give you that kind of easygoing rounded look to your lid. You also have very rigid ones, which I don't know why these even exist. It's just like a flat brush, like a painting brush literally. Most useless brush in my kit. I don't even know why I'm showing it to y'all, but it just exists, so I'm gonna include it in this video. Now we have a good old angled brush again, which is a flat angled brush. This is how it looks. A variation, it's just slightly thicker. You can have thinner ones, you can have thicker ones. This is usually for anything related to the lash line or any kind of intricate lines that you want to create. Because it's got an angle, it can give you a nice edge to create a liner using a gel eyeliner. You can even use this for, say, making a cut crease or even setting your concealer down to create that cut crease. This is what can be used so you can get into the corners really well. It can also be used for your under eye and even your brow. And finally, here we have the really tiny brushes. So these brushes are multitaskers. So this is the tiniest brush. It's basically used for an eyeliner, or if you want to get really close to your lash line, maybe your under eye, like creating a line in your cut crease with glitter or some kind of creamy eyeshadow that you want to create like a cut crease line with. This is a really tiny precision brush. There are many other brushes for eyeshadows, honestly, like these ones over here. This is a very dense kind of pointed one which mimics a pencil brush from MAC, but it's horrible. Like, I barely use it. Stay away from anything extremely dense when it comes to your eyes, especially when it comes to blending, because the denser it is, the more difficult it's going to be for you to blend. You want something fluffy. So coming to highlight, you know that sheen that you get on your face that looks like a goddess glow? That's your highlight. This is again another favorite of mine. So this is a fluffy tapered brush, which is like a really good size, not too big, not too small. And this is what I love to use for highlighter. Typically used for maybe setting your under eyes with powder. But I use this for my highlight. It's literally so worn out, but I can't get rid of this. This is what will give you the most powerful glowy highlight ever. It's mediumly dense, but it's also fluffy and it's the perfect size, so you're not going to get the highlight everywhere. And yeah, this is overall a winner when it comes to highlighting. You must have seen this on the internet a lot. So this is a fan brush, and this is also used for highlighting on the top parts of your face. But honestly, this is just, it looks really fancy in videos, but this is not the best tool to use because it's very thin and it's very weird. It's gonna give you a very harsh line if you use it like this on top, and it's just gonna give you like one straight line, which you don't want. And if you use it like this, you're kind of getting the highlight everywhere. And that's about it. Those are all the brushes that you will find, and in case I'm missing some, those will just be a variation of this, maybe bigger, smaller, denser, or you know, stuff like that. But these are the basic brushes that you will find on the market everywhere. I'll list a few of my favorite quality brushes down in the description box for you. Here are the brushes that you need as a beginner, and you can have one of these, two of these if you're too lazy to wash them. But this is the essential kit for a beginner. If you skipped the entire video and you came here, this was the summary. But if you want to learn in detail about what these brushes are used for, then watch the entire video. But that was it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. I'll probably make a video soon actually using these brushes and, you know, creating a whole makeup look. But this time, instead of talking about the products, I'll talk more about the brushes and exactly how I'm using it. If you guys think that that's a good video idea and you're interested in it, then leave a comment below. If you liked this video, then leave a like and also subscribe and hit the bell button. I'll see you guys in my next one super soon. Bye.